Hey everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hopefully can get a quiet video in here. There's been quite a lot of noise outside today. You know, the guys with their machines in the summer, and I've got a couple of the stupidest dogs on the planet next door, and they've been barking, but seems like it's quieted down a little bit, so I kind of went in the back of the house and want to talk about challenges and struggles on a raw food diet the first few months today. I do videos every day, so how about going down there right now and hitting that subscribe button? Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. A lot of times if you don't do that, you won't get notices when a new video comes out. I get this all the time. It's like somebody does this lifestyle for about 15 minutes, constantly on Instagram. Hey, I went raw 4 days ago and I just feel this feels bad or this isn't working, and they're so astounded. And I'm like, what are you really expecting? Just have a little patience with this. Man, I just talked about this the other day. Instant gratification. We just want it now. Now, if we could just push a button or take a pill and get it this second, that would satisfy everybody. But life doesn't work out that way. And the reason I added that last little part, the first few months down there, is really when you start this diet, you're figuring things out. I know you've seen the stories. I know you are, and sometimes I think people watch a little too much YouTube, or they don't really focus on the whole story. They just see the after. They see the results, and they don't pay attention to what that person's process was. The first few months is just kind of figuring it out. You're not going to lose weight immediately. You're not going to necessarily start eating a raw food diet and 2 days later go, oh my God, I feel the best that I've ever felt in my life. Now, some people will. Some people will just start feeling good right off the bat. And that's, I think, where people want to compare themselves to sometimes. Number one, especially when it comes to our bodies, we don't need to be comparing ourselves to anybody else because we all have unique experiences. We could take 100 of us and all eat 7 bananas, and we're probably going to have 100 different experiences. Some might be similar, but they're still going to be different. So everybody, your mileage may not be the same on this lifestyle. And people get discouraged in the very beginning, and you're just not being realistic here. I get this all the time, and also too, just big jumps like things like I don't even see the correlation there. Like I've been like things that I don't even understand. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not the big detox person. In fact, you hardly ever hear me talk about that. That whole subject kind of annoys me because it's just kind of when people can't figure anything else out to tell you, well, you're detoxing. Some of the stuff people think that they're experiencing because of the raw food diet, I just think they're making leaps and there's, jumps in causality. And it's not necessarily this is causing this. Somebody will do raw food. I've been doing raw food for the past 4 days and I have this pain in my elbow. And I'm like, well, that's probably... And I say probably because I don't like to, say things that I don't know 100%. I'm going to say probably 99.99%. That's a coincidence because I don't know of like anything unless you've got some major injury or you have some trauma there of detoxing out your elbow or whatever. But just that's kind of a crazy example, but I get weird little things like that. Hey, have you ever heard of this before? I've been eating a raw food diet for a week now, and I'm like, no, it's probably just some little quirky thing that's going on in your body. One thing I will say, though, is when it comes to detox, I'm not going to say I don't, our body does detox. A lot of times we're going to feel worse before we feel better on this lifestyle. And there's a couple of different reasons for that. Number one reason is because, yes, the body is detoxing. The body detoxes all the time. When I say I'm just not all into this detox, I'm just not necessarily into all these crazy methods and just the constant talk of it. But the body is constantly detoxing, and depending on how long you've eaten a standard American diet or similar versions of it wherever you might live, it's going to take some time for that gunk to come out of your body. And as the gunk, the bad stuff comes out of your body, you're not going to necessarily feel good. But nowhere to put the blame. That's not because you're eating raw food. Well, it kind of indirectly is, because the better food is helping you to detox this stuff out. Or actually, it's more the things you're not putting in your body that are causing you to feel how you feel, more so than the raw food that you're eating. Does that make some sense to you right there? In other words, and also it's just kind of withdrawal too. As you've cut these things out, you feel these cravings initially, and your body's just adjusting not to having them. So you're gonna, as the body's detoxing some of these things you've eaten for however many years, decades, whatever, you will feel bad as those things are coming out, and the rate is different for everybody. That drives me insane when somebody asks me a specific question like, well, how long is it going? I just started the raw food diet yesterday. How long is it going to take me to lose weight? How long is it going to take me to see this? How long is it? Dude, are you serious? You can't expect anybody to know that for everybody's body. Oh, that's going to take 14 days. Oh, you'll see that in 2 months and a half. So, if you're feeling these things, it's more likely you're just getting used to eating this. As I mentioned in a video, I don't know, in the last few weeks, the bloating, getting your digestion used to it. You're taking in so much on this raw food diet, you're getting so much more fiber than you were most likely used to the way you ate before. So your stomach, it's going to take a while to adjust to digesting this fiber, to using this fiber in your body, so many other things. But that's the thing, it's going to take a little bit of time, and you just got to give it that patience. I mean, I wouldn't even, the first few months, I would just kind of think of as that experimental period. You're not really expecting too much. Have no expectations for the first few months. There, I just thought of that one just right then. If you would do really well on this lifestyle all over if you would just have no expectations for the first few months. Just educate yourself, move forward, do the best you can, transition to as high raw as you want to go, but have no expectations. Because you don't know what you're going to get. It's going to be different for everybody. Some people are going to feel terrible in the beginning. Some people are going to have energy right from the start. Another reason not to have too many expectations or worry too much about the first few months is you're new. You're just figuring this thing out. And you're going to be bombarded. Here's one thing you're going to deal with. If you're new to this lifestyle, you're going to be bombarded with conflicting information and people telling you they know 100% this is the right way to do it. So you're going to have a lot of confusion. You're going to see this person saying this person saying that. So you're going to make a lot of mistakes in the first 3 months, and that's another reason you may not feel your best. You're figuring out how to do this. It was the same thing for me. I mean, if I'd have given up too soon, I didn't eat enough. My particular thing was I just didn't eat enough. I wasn't restricting. I just was naturally eating a little bit less, because that was always my go-to when I dieted or was trying to get healthy. You cut back on what you eat. Well, my stomach tends to shrink little by little as it goes, and what was eventually happening was I was eating less and less. I was juicing a lot back then, and I just wasn't even getting near the calories I should. I think I one time guesstimated that maybe at that time I was possibly some days only getting 12 to 1500 calories a day. Got to this point where I was lightheaded all the time. Every time I went to stand up, I had to make sure I kind of braced myself. It actually started to scare me, because I was out in public a couple of times and was starting to think, man, I'm going to have a bad situation. I'm either going to hit the floor one of these times, or I don't know. I just thought it might progress. But you learn, you work your way through it. And once I figured out, I don't know, it was just that aha moment of looking in the mirror when I came home one time and looking terrible because I was so skinny. And then I had that aha moment. Dude, you need to eat. That's why you don't feel good. And as soon as I started eating, an adequate amount of food, I immediately, it's like I soared. I felt better immediately. So there's all different kind of things you're going to have to figure out in those first few months. So Just don't have unrealistic expectations. Like I say, if possible, I know the mind does what the mind does, but have no expectations in those first few months. Just work through, just improve your process, learn more, educate more, experiment more. Play with your food. I know you were always told don't play with your food, but play with your food in the way of like try different things out. You know, if this isn't working, try that. Mostly staying full. I'm going to finish with that. That's always my go-to piece of advice on everything related to this lifestyle, on a plant-based lifestyle, just in general. Just keep yourself satisfied. Don't get hungry. If you keep yourself satisfied and full on good stuff, less bad stuff's going to creep in there. And people say over and over and over, I've probably said that 5,000 times since I started this channel, and people agree, but they don't do it. I don't know if it's counterintuitive just to eat as much as you want, or actually even just eat till you're absolutely full, but people won't do that. If people would do that if people would do that one thing, way more people would have success on this lifestyle and wouldn't have struggles. Just keep yourself satisfied, keep yourself full, but have realistic expectations, and don't be so impatient, and don't be so ready to jump from one thing to the next. Okay, I tried the raw food diet for 20 minutes now. Let's get on to the next thing that we're going to spend 20 minutes on, and it's not going to give us the results we're looking for, and we'll jump to the next thing. You know, you got to stick to things sometimes. All I can tell you is show you. Like I say, over the past 6.5 years, best years of my life. I'm 54, never have felt better. I was squatting last night outside, just chilling outside, and just realized how great it is to be 54 and not have any creaks and aches and pains. No joint pains, no back, no my knees are bothering me, just feeling great. So the proof is in how you feel. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Peace.